That was actually really good. All right, I'll work with that. There we go. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, today is March 27, 2024. We have made it into March. Can you guys believe this? Okay, so first thing first, we'll go to the next slide. All right, as you all know, we have our mission, belief, and vision statements, and there are actually some new people in the crowd today. All right, Angel, welcome. Actually, yeah, he's one of our newest members, so give him a round of applause. And make sure you welcome into the Keller family. And I know there's probably more of you out there, so please, if you don't know them, meet them and get yourself acquainted with the new people in this office. They are here to stay, so let's welcome them. Now, as far as our mission goes, right? Does anyone want to volunteer? Hey, finally. All right, hit me with the first one.
Oh, you were here last time.
Oh, well, it's probably in the back. Go ahead.
Our mission, to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible.
Absolutely. And our belief is when the values of your company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And that is our Y4C2Ts. And my man, why don't you take us home with our vision?
To achieve amazing professional and personal development so that KWSB remains the agency of choice.
So what?
Agency of choice.
Right. Because you guys are all the agents of choice. Are you not?
Yeah.
All right. Next slide. Okay, so first of all, how's everyone's lunch? Great. Delicious? Okay, so I want everyone to give a very warm South Bay welcome to our lunch sponsor, the one, the only, Barry Henry.
Hi, everybody. I think I've met most of you. And if you have not met me, my name is Carrie Henry, and I'm with Fidelity National Home Warranty. And I was with I'm still with you guys. I'm with KW South Bay. I hold my license here in this very office. If you did not know that, so I'm with you guys. I just moved over to home warranty, and it's been amazing. So what I wanted to let you know is that Susie and I, literally right before you guys left for our family reunion, we were in Vegas for our national sales meeting ourselves. And wanted to let you know that we received gold in the Gold Club. So that was really exciting. And more importantly, well, it's as important, we are #1 in press sales in the entire company.
Nice.
And so you're probably wondering, what does that mean for me? Well, for you guys, what press means is it's a couple of things. It's 13 months of coverage for your clients, which is your clients love it, and you should too, because what it does is it protects you for a little bit longer after the transaction's closed. Because we know when there is litigation, it's oftentimes the buyers unhappy with the sellers, and we want to keep them happy for as long as possible. So you have Susie and me both helping you. 11 years of real estate experience. I was a buyer's agent for 8 in the Hoffman Murphy real estate team. And then I was a listing manager for 2 years. So I know both sides of the transaction. I know how hard it is for all of you to work. You work so hard. Your list of things to do goes on and on and on and on and on. So it's really important, I think, for you guys to partner with, you have your escrow people that you love to work with. You have your lenders that you love to work with. You have title that you love to work with. Let Susie and I be your go-to people for home warranty. And so the transactions close, the home warranty starts. So we will be your advocate for you and your client's advocate for 13 months, helping them with, situations. Most of you know what a home warranty is, and I probably will go back maybe next time and give you another kind of refresher, if you will. But you have me with experience. Susie's been in the business for 30 years, and she knows the ins and outs. And we will do everything in our power to give you and your clients the best service we can. Sometimes it's out of our hands and we can't help, but our goal is to keep us working together as a team, and we really look forward to the opportunity, if you haven't had the opportunity to work with us, to reach out and give us a try. And then thank you for all of you that do work with us. We really do appreciate it. And You know, you have me out in the field doing the meetings, the lunches. I do orders, I can do service, help you with service calls. And then Susie's really behind the scenes at this point, giving all of your clients the TLC that they need and that you need going forward. So she's amazing, and thank you so much for your time, and I'm super excited to see you all and hope you enjoy lunch.
Awesome, thank you. You know, so you have some things on the table. You want to explain what this is?
So we're talking about the price of the 13-month. This is the brochure, the Crest brochure, and it has the pricing on the back. And it's only $30 more for your clients to get one more month of coverage. So it's a wonderful, you should absolutely be utilizing this. The pricing on the very back is a most comprehensive plan. It's called our Enhanced Plus plan. And for a single family home is $855. So when you're writing your offers, make sure that you're putting in the allotted amount that you think your clients will need. Do they have an extra refrigerator? Then you want to add that to the home warranty. Call me, call Susie, we can walk you through it. We'll talk about the house and what, I'll ask you all the questions that I should ask to make sure that your clients are covered. I had a really top producer with another brokerage call me really mad about a month ago. He was furious that his client didn't have the refrigerator covered. And I said, well, let's look at the policy that you ordered. You didn't have refrigeration. And I'm so sorry. You have to have our back and this and that. We get so many orders. We're so thankful to get them, but we can't monitor every single thing. So call me, call Susie, let us help you steer through this so that you have best coverage for clients.
How much does it cost if you want to add it on later on?
So we will send out many notices to your clients if they want to continue the coverage for multiple years, then they can do that.
No, but add that refrigerator.
Oh, so it would have to be in the first 30 days after the close of escrow that we need to do that. So you can always look over your policy afterwards and call me and add things if you need to.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've taken a lot of time. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, now, that was excellent. Now, you guys have probably seen this face around the office once or twice. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your in-house escrow of Escrow South Bay, Maria. You got grass and eggs. You're laying eggs.
Hi, everybody. I'm in process for officer for us from South Bay. And so I just wanted to share something with you. I like to share experiences with you because I think that it's helpful for you to have some of the knowledge that I have. And then that way you can share it with your clients. So I had signing with escrow package with the seller. And he was a successor trustee of his mother's trust. And so when we were going through the paperwork and everything, we came to the instructions for proceeds. And he started to give me his bank account information for his personal bank account. Well, in a trust where there's a deceased party, you can't do that. We have to have a bank account in the name of the trust. It cannot go to the individual successor trustee's bank account because that money has to be, it's just like an estate. They're dispersing the funds to the beneficiaries out of the estate along with the expenses so that they're not taxed and they're not being for anything coming out of their personal bank account. So the reason why I wanted to share this, because I have talked about it a few times, is because his repetitive statement was, how come nobody told me? How come nobody told me? How come nobody told me? So it's very important to try to maybe take notes, sometimes write down little things that you think about, keep it in your, in your file in your brain, and just say, whenever someone passes away, the successor trustee is going to have to open up that bank account. Also, when someone passes away, the social security number becomes void. So you can't even use that social for anything. So they have to also get an EIN number. And it's so simple. You just go online and apply. So I just directed him to apply online. He got the EIN number right away and he opened up the bank account and we got it taken care of rather quickly. Probably it took him maybe 3 or 4 days. It wasn't anything extensive, but you have to take a copy of the original trust to the bank and the EIN number and an original certified copy of the death certificate to open that bank account. So if you're dealing with a seller that has a situation where they're selling property, of a family member that's passed away in the trust, then make sure you let them know and let them know what's needed and come by my office anytime. if you forget. Thank you guys.
Is the trustee on the bank account, have they used that account anymore?
The successor trustee can use the bank account, but in this case, it was still in the seller's individual, there was never a bank account open.
But then
And
that's
they
what
were
they're trying to
trust.
front of them.
So, yeah, and he tried to, his personal bank account, and.
Awesome. All right, that was awesome. Next is going to be our very special, sales contest, very special sales contest. So we have a few more days left. So guys, if you haven't entered your numbers, enter them now. You have until technically the 31st. And if you want to check on your team, go ahead and scan the QR code, but go ahead and give me the next slide. Let's see who's in the lead right now. Okay, so first is Rise 10X. Okay. I see Rosie adjusting her headphones. We got the closers at second and one. What happened?
I was saying, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then winner's circle taking third place. It said second, but it stood at 151 points. So good job, you guys. Keep entering the numbers. It's not over yet. So second and third place, guys, there's still a chance. I know Rise 10X are saying no, there isn't, but you know. But good job, you guys. Keep up the points. So again, if you haven't already added the numbers, add them before the 31st. Then we'll do the whole tally after that. So next slide. All right, so we want to go ahead and give a warm South Bay welcome to our special guest today. We have Mr. Mike Herman. Wow, 3 o'clock.
How's everybody doing? Thank you for having me. My name is Mike Herman. I am the Director of Partnerships for Fremodel. I recognize some of you. I was here back in December. Thought it was a lot sooner, but Fred reminded me because it was his birthday around that time. So excited to be back here. First and foremost, my goal is to educate you on what we do. We want to help you win more listings. We want to help you make more money. We want to help you be more valuable agents, right? It's very odd times right now. We have the NAR settlement happening, lack of inventory, right? So it's crucial that you guys know your value prop, that you're able to show your agents that you are a valuable agent, and we're here to help you do that, okay? So for some of you, I know this is going to be a little bit of a refresher. For others, this will be new. So what Fremodel does is we are a pre-sale home renovation, or I should say we're a concierge service, full service concierge service. So we do pre-sale and post-sale home renovations, okay? So if you have a client that's looking to list their property, maybe the property is outdated, it needs new paint, carpet, maybe there's a hoarder, you gotta get all the trash out. Fremodel will help you fix up that property, okay? And we'll get it ready for listing. So a lot of times your clients might not have the money to do that, right? So we'll come in, we'll front the capital to do that project. We'll do everything from start to finish. We have local project directors that are actually here in the South Bay, like myself, that will come and manage the entire project for you. And so the reason why that's beneficial is that, one, you as agents do not have to be project managers, right? How many of you have ever coordinated your own painters, stagers, everybody come out? I know you're lying, all of you have. We don't want you to do that. It takes time out of your day, right? Your time's valuable. You should be getting more listings. You should be helping sell properties, buying properties for your clients, right? So let us do all that work for you. Also, our contracts are with all of your clients, right? So that means that your broker, as well as yourself, you're not going to be exposed to any legal or financial risk, and that's extremely important, right? From a homeowner's perspective, right? If they don't have the capital to pay for a project, we're going to be here to help them out. Even if they do have the capital to pay for the project, maybe they don't want to put it towards a remodel, right? So we also don't want them being project managers, so they don't have to worry about any of that. Now, easy to qualify, right? So we're making sure that there's no property is not in foreclosure. We want to make sure that there are no involuntary liens on the property. After that, we just want to make sure that the loan balance is in good standing with regards to the project costs. And if you have any additional questions on that, I'll talk to you afterwards. I'm limited on time. So we will do projects up to $500,000. That's pretty significant, right? We don't have any minimums right now, so we'll do everything from staging to general cosmetic work, as I mentioned, painting, we'll do landscaping, rip out carpets, put in hardwood floors, we'll even do kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, roofs, foundation work. What we will not do are any new builds, right? So we're not adding square footage to the property, but we are working with the existing property. We've knocked out walls, we've added walls. I have a fantastic presentation and some great resources, which I'll have Stephanie send out to all of you after the fact. The way it works is you would fill out a form if you have a project in mind, right? We'll collect all that data, we'll assign you a local project director. And then that project director and you will coordinate a time to do a walkthrough of the property. Right, so they'll walk through the property, they're taking notes, provide a scope of work, provide an initial estimate, and then you'll be able to provide that to your client. Right, you're providing them an option, which is extremely important. They don't have to move forward, it doesn't cost them anything to get somebody to come out and provide this estimate. Right, but at least you're providing them an option and you're showing them that you have more tools in your belt other than just showing them properties, right? What else do I want to tell you? Yes, question.
You mentioned staging, or not starting staging, like if someone's a hoarder, do you also help with the clearing with stuff that's there?
We do. So we have over 800 subcontractors within our network that are all licensed, bonded, and insured. So we have stagers that are within our network. We have junk removal companies. If you have vendors that you like to work with, maybe you have family that has a company, you're like, I want to give them the business. Totally fine. We can onboard them to the free model platform. We just need to make sure that they're licensed, bonded, and insured. Okay, so we are the general contractors, so we are the ones that are bringing these subcontractors out. I was just sharing this with Mimi that I ran the numbers for Southern California on the projects we've done. For projects up to $25,000, homeowners were walking away with an average of $62,000 in additional profit. That's after we're paid, right? So a homeowner's not doing anything. They don't have to pay for anything up front, and they're making. Right, so we get paid at the close of escrow for pre-sale properties. So after the property is completed, project's done, property gets listed for sale, and then at the close of the sale, close of escrow, we get paid. For any post-sale project, I've actually worked with some real estate agents. One lady wanted to have her bathroom remodeled. Same process, except we don't get paid at the close of escrow, obviously. We work out a payment plan where we get paid every 2 weeks for the work that's completed. So it's a fantastic program. We really want to help you out. We love Keller Williams. We've done over 100 projects with Keller Williams, helping your clients make an additional 15 million plus in additional profits on over $150 million in volume. So very significant. Yes.
What is your time limit? Because when you go to escrow, like for staging, or whatever else you need to do, you have a very limited time as far as the time that we request and you guys respond. What is that time frame?
When you request, it's not that we work together. So
That's why I'm asking.
yeah, it depends. Typically, when you fill out the form, we're responsive. We're gathering all the data and information, and we're assigning you a project director. So based on that project director's availability, which is pretty quick, and your availability, you guys are coordinating a time to meet at the property. Once they're at the property and they're doing the walkthrough, we're turning around the initial estimate within about 48 hours. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is there a prerequisite on the minimum amount of equity in the property?
So the way it works is that we need to make sure that it qualifies. So we look at the loan balance plus the cost of the free model project. That number has to be less than 80% of what the after renovation value will be. So if that's the case, then that works. So we rely on you guys to provide the as-is value on the after renovation. Any other questions? Has anybody used free model? I know that we've talked, we're trying to work on it.
Close.
Close.
What is your
Has anybody
contact
have a property
information?
right now that is old and,
We got Rosie.
What is your contact information?
Rosie, I'm gonna send that to you. So you're gonna get my phone number, my Twitter, my email, anything you need.
Thank you.
All right,
Beautiful.
great. Looking forward to helping you guys out. Please give us a shout. Again, it doesn't cost you anything to have us come out and provide a free estimate. So looking forward to working with you.
My man. All right. Guys, you provide an awesome service, so take advantage of that, especially if you need the assistance. I mean, he's got a great reputation and, he's got our seal of approval. So let's talk value. You guys want to talk value?
Yeah.
With the man, the myth, the legend, everyone give a round of applause to Mr. Brandon Louder.
Where's the best vocal? We're not using the microphone, right? We're good? Or you want?
Cool, how's everybody?
All right.
How about those cool Easter decorations on the slides today, right? I mean, that's right up my alley, it matches my shirt, so that's a good. Next slide, Natalie, please. So you guys are all familiar with what's going on to a certain degree, yes?
Yes.
What's happening? We
Yeah.
got some challenges ahead or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, we got some opportunity there. We do want to talk about some of this with you. If you're not reading the headlines, I'm just genuinely curious, how many of you have had someone you know ask you about what's going on?
Oh,
Right, so it's top of mind because we're very headline friendly, right? We see that in the news. So one of the things that we are talking about, Natalie, next slide, please. We're gonna talk about our value. I think it's one of the hot topics as well. But can anyone help explain the difference between value and price?
Price is what it costs.
Okay, price is what it costs, what else? Value is what you get, maybe it could be, right? Warren Buffett has a similar quote to that. Right, so let's not overthink this because this is extremely important. Next slide, Natalie, please. So price is the commodity or the service that it is that you're offering. So I say back in the day when I sold real estate, this was the 90s, we didn't have the internet and cell phones. Isn't that weird that you have to say that we didn't have those things? We had this book, right? All the MLS listings were printed in a book and it was printed once a month. So we had a different way of going about creating value then. Perception was a little different then, right? Today, everything that you do is all what we call left brain. That means that's the justification, that's the logical side of the brain. So people that you meet and greet in real estate, they're typically looking around price. And if you're in the loan world, they're talking about what, Chris? Rates. That's it. There's no emotion involved in any of that, right? So to be fair, there's no understanding of value at that point, right? So the difference pretty much is price is something that's set, it's a commodity or a service, and the value that you bring is only equates to that person as it relates to their perceived benefits. You guys with me? So the value is different, and I can give you a couple of examples of that. How many of you guys have ever been to a restaurant for the first time? We all have, right? We've all been to a restaurant for the first time. So what are some of the things that we're really looking for when we go to a restaurant that are important to us?
Good service.
Good service. What else? Quality of the food, right?
Price.
There we go. So does it, and how does it relate? And you guys are typically leaving that restaurant and you're either going, wow, that was awesome, that was amazing, and you feel good, and you're feeling good typically around what you experienced based on the price. Are you with me? The biggest challenge you guys have is how you have been taught over the years. If you're new, you're probably going to hear this too. You walk into a broker tour. How many times have you guys left a broker tour or a broker open house and you hear every agent saying things like, oh, that's overpriced. Oh, they're never going to get this. Oh, they're never going to get that. My honest opinion right now, just for you guys moving forward, is to get your judgment out of the way. Because if you're doing that, you're setting the expectation for people to do it to you. And we're coming into a world where you're gonna have to work really hard at justifying why somebody should hire you. In the listing world, we're kind of used to it to a certain degree, right? And I'm gonna elaborate on this a little bit more, but I want you to understand people's perceptions are the most important thing for you moving forward. Not what your fee is right now. None of that matters. It's do they love it? One of our tricks at an open house, I'll give you a little nugget, is when someone walks through the front door and they say, hey, what's the price of the house? We don't say what the price of the house is. We don't give them a flyer. We simply say, could you do the seller and myself a favor? Walk through the home and give me some feedback, and then I'll get you a pricing sheet. And guess what we learned from that experience? When they don't like the house, what are they not asking you? They're not asking you what the price is. And that's the point. The point is we get our fee and price sometimes too far in the way when we need to ask more questions and understand what they're looking for, right, as it relates to value. So perception is how we interpret certain things, right? When the reality is because people's behavior is all related on it, which is why you hardly ever see a house sell for the exact same price they were asking, right? It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. Natalie, next slide, please. So we have a company called 1000watt.net. You can look them up, 1000watt, WATT.net, subscribe to their newsletter.
They are a third-party consulting company and they specialize in consumer engagement. And I was on a webinar. I'm going to share some of these slides because at the end, this is where we're ultimately going. It's our perception and how it ties into what the people we're going to be talking to about real estate means. So here's a poll that they did. These are almost 5,000 individuals who bought and sold property in the last 24 months is what it was. Did the real estate agent who helped you buy your home explain up front how they were going to get paid? 55% said yes. So just quick show of hands, when you meet a buyer for the first time, do you explain how you get paid?
No.
It's very rare. And I want you guys to also know you're in a state, California is one of the very few states where they practice this. When you go to other states like Colorado and Georgia, it's part of the buyer consultation. Is they're explaining to the buyer how things get paid, who's paying it, and how that works. And now guess what? All that's changing, right? So 45% did not understand how they got paid. So what should you be doing moving forward? Do you know how to explain it? Can you get to that place where you can say, hey, Lloyd, you know what? 2.5% on $1 million property is $25,000. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but I want you to know that I'm running a business. In addition to the $25,000 that I might get gross. Let me ask you a question, Lloyd. Have you ever had a job?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you ever get a pay stub? Yeah? Was there any deductions out of that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, same thing happens to me. So I got a $25,000 commission that you see, and I know that's a big number, but guess what? I gotta pay Uncle Sam, I got business expenses, right? I have all of these things, and it's gonna take me 3 months from the start to finish. So I'm making about $2,800 a month. Now, would you feel any different if you could explain it that way, rather than trying to defend why you're getting $25,000?
Yeah.
Right, these are the things I want us to start just thinking about, considering how we start running a business. Next slide, please, Natalie. How many people do you know, neighbors, relatives, friends, acquaintances, people you know from your kids' school, your church, etc., who are real estate agents? 15% of people in America don't know a real estate agent. 34% know 1 to 5, 29% know 6 to 10, 17% know 11 to 20, and 4% know 21 or more. So what does that mean? That means 58% of America know 6 or more real estate agents. Don't you feel good now? Right? And that's why we have that joke in California, when you get pulled over for speeding, they don't ask you for your driver's license.
That's
Oh, come on, you guys need it. That's a good joke. So why am I bringing this up? You guys know this. So where are we going with our conversations with people when it comes to value? Why should someone pick you over somebody else that they know as a real estate agent? You don't have to answer it, but I want you to start thinking about these things. Next slide, Natalie, please. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you react to the following? The recent lawsuits in the real estate industry have made me question the value of real estate agents. The average response was 7. So you're in a position now where you're not only seeing it in the news and people are asking you, people are going to start going down this rabbit hole of why should I pay you that $25,000? Are you guys with me? Next slide, Natalie, please. A different way to ask the same question. I am now more likely to seek out alternative real estate services or platforms that offer lower commission rates if I buy or sell a home in the future. The average response on that was 7 as well. So it's top of mind. So one of the surveys that's on here, that's not on here that they talked about. The number one complaint people were having in the survey of us is that we blow smoke up their you-know-whats. Meaning somebody's going to ask you how the market is and you're going to say, it's awesome, business is better. Are you guys rocking it? Because if you are, I want to see your bank account. So what they want to hear is the truth. They want to hear you say, real estate's tough right now. Can you guys say that? Real estate is tough right now. It's okay to hit this head on, but we don't need to pretend. They don't want us being salesmen. They want us to understand what their struggles are. And the better you understand those struggles, could you have a better value proposition? And I say yes to that. Next slide, Natalie, please. We'll go through this relatively quick. Very good. Real estate agents who work with buyers often get paid a fee equal to 2.5% of the purchase price of a home. For example, an agent would get paid $12,500 on a $500,000 house purchase. Based on this, do you think 36% say agents get paid too much? 53% say agents get paid around the right amount of money. 11% say real estate agents that work with buyers don't get paid enough. So if you go back to that first question, most people don't even know how we get paid. That's kind of a trick-loaded question, isn't it? But we were just talking about perception. If the person you're trying to do business with, if their perception of you is not very high, you have work to do.
Yeah.
But that's the opportunity. Because I've been doing this for 31 years and I have trust and faith that most agents aren't going to find a way to do this the right way. So this is your opportunity to understand what people are thinking and feeling and revolve your business around that. Next slide, please, Natalie. Current and most real estate transactions, the agent representing the buyer is paid 2.5% of the home sales price. This commission is determined by the seller and their agent before the home is listed for sale and comes out of the seller's proceeds. How do you interpret this? Well, 35% said the buyer is paying nothing for the agent's services, but 65% said yes. They understand that if I wasn't the buyer, nobody would be paying anybody anything. Right? It's the half glass full, half glass empty concept. And if you're like me, it doesn't matter because there's always room for vodka. Doesn't matter if it's half full or half empty. So is this fair? Yeah, that's 94% is fair. That's a good place to be, right? But understanding how this is going to change. So how is this going to change? We're decoupling it. You're going to hear this word a lot. We're decoupling, which means we're separating the fact that you're a listing agent and the seller are packaging the total fee for services between the buyer and seller. If you're a buyer's agent, if you've been in the business for less than 3 years, you probably run across something in the MLS where the co-broke fee was 1% or less. And how did you feel? You felt like, what a cheapskate. You felt like, I'm not even going to show that property. All of these things come to mind, which is why we had the lawsuit. See, what you fail to remember is it doesn't matter what they were offering because you can negotiate anything that you want. You were just never taught that, right? Because I've also been the listing agent who went down the path, same thing, I'm just as guilty as the rest of you, who said, I'm gonna offer 2.5% co-broke on my listing. And then I go under contract with that agent and they're worthless. Why am I paying them 2.5%? I want you to know it goes both ways. So the direction we're going is important to understand. Someone has to pay. It's just going to be paid differently. All right. It's just going to be paid in a different way. But somehow, some way, we're still going to earn our fees. Next slide, Natalie, please. Currently, these things are true. Most home buyers do not have to sign any kind of exclusive agreement or contract to hire a real estate agent. Most home buyers do not pay the real estate agent out of pocket for their services because their agent's commission was distributed at the close of the transaction from money that is usually borrowed. If you had to sign an exclusive agreement to work with a real estate agent and had to pay out of pocket for their services, what would you do? 14% were fine with it. 53% said I would have some reservations, but would probably still hire an agent to represent me. So there's a need for us, and I think overall people get it, right? But they don't understand the how, the what, and the why. This is how we're going to start building our value proposition. Next slide, please, Natalie. If you were buying a home today and your budget was $500,000, how much would you be willing to pay for the services of a real estate agent? 5% said I'd be willing to pay 15 grand. 15% said I'd be willing to pay 12.5. 37% said I'd be willing to pay 10. 17% said 7,500. 14% said 5,000, and 12% said 2,500. Next slide, please. Which means how your compensation fee works. Natalie, click that for me, please. That's the difference. I gave you the dollar amounts, but I'm not just letting you guys know that basically, what do we got? 57% of most people surveyed were at least willing to pay you 2%. So the question becomes, what's that? Buyer's agent. Yeah, we're talking about paying out of pocket. Right? So not bad. I mean, it's there. I think it's just part of the justification. See, just like I was telling you about the story of a buyer walking through an open house. They're walking through an open house and they fall in love with it. Now they need to justify it. And that's the difference. The difference is there's been an expectation set of how you get paid working with a buyer. The expectation, all your buyer's fees, everything has been negotiated. You were part of the negotiation. You guys get that? That's the true opportunity. The true opportunity says, I'm a badass agent and I got to walk you through and navigate all this stuff and deal with all of your luggage. And I call that a pain in the ass fee. And I hope you're okay paying it because this is going to be a pain in the ass and I want to earn my keep. Now I say that jokingly because I've been doing this a long time and it's work. People need to understand it. And I think once they understand it, they're not going to have a problem. Well, we're gonna have a little bit of a transition here, right? Next slide, Natalie, please. Next slide, we're just gonna kind of skip through that real quick. Go ahead, next slide. Let's get through this. I think I'm making my point. Stop right here. What do you think is the most valuable service the agent who helped you buy your home provided? 10% said finding a home. 11% said touring, showing homes with me. 17% said evaluating the pros and cons of homes I was interested in. You go right down this list, but 33% said interpreting inspections and disclosure reports about the properties and negotiating and noting potential issues. If your elevator speech is, I can help you find homes, what is this telling you? They find homes online all day long. That's not where they need you. So the question becomes, do you understand the process well enough? Do you understand the next steps in the contract? Do you understand how important dates and deadlines are? Do you understand how important disclosure and discovery is? And interpreting that stuff on behalf of your client, right? Here's that trick question real quick. The difference between customer and client is what?
I like you.
Whether they like you or not necessarily. It's all about it being in writing. So here's a word that you use too loosely, especially with buyers. They're my client. And unless you have a buyer representation agreement, they're a customer.
Oh, I see.
So what did I just tell you? Another nugget, Mr. or Mrs. Client, I want you to know I prioritize my buyers that I work with. I typically prioritize my clients over my customers. And the defining thing between a client and a customer is that they have a legal contract with me and they have hired me to work on their behalf. You have that in your pitch, right? This is where I want us to go. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Let's get to, there you go, see? When I started in the 90s, that's how people look for houses. If you don't know what a newspaper is, I'm just telling you, this is a copy of it. Okay? So what's the value? Now, I hear this frequently, and I'm just going to tell you my opinion. You don't have as much control of your buyer and what they're willing to do or not do when you give them free reins to go do whatever they want. I personally feel your value, and the reason I'm not going to pay you as much in a fee is because I'm having to do a majority of the work. So I know you've heard out there, as an example, go let them go through the open houses and let them go find it. I don't know that that's what you want to do. Now, maybe you can take that attitude if you have an exclusive buyer agreement, but I'm not quite sure everyone's going to sign an exclusive buyer agreement with you. So we have to navigate that. We're slowly going to be doing this as a group with our leadership team. So I just want you to know we have a task force. We're going to be coming up with a lot of great things to get you down this path. But we want to start planting the seed. And the biggest thing is, do you know who you are, who you represent, and why you're going to charge the fee of services that you're ultimately going to charge? We're going to have to still navigate how that lays out, but I think as a group, we're going to do a really good job of doing that. It's okay. It was nice to put people in my car and go show them around. We don't do that anymore. It's really an interesting space, right? So I used to have a cooler full of Coors Light and Bartles and James. It was awesome. And I really do wish we could get back to that. That would be badass, right? Driving around showing people houses like that. Next slide, Natalie. So here's what I want you to just pay attention to. This is what the buyer is saying. The buyer is saying, give me confidence to do something scary and life-changing. What is that? Buying a piece of real estate is the most expensive thing most people will ever do in their life. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
I want you to help me find answers for the things that I don't know how to ask. So if I have a hard time asking a home inspector something, or interpreting the inspection report, or the disclosures, or the information that the seller or the listing agent is giving me, do I have value if I can help them understand it?
Yes.
100%. Tell me what is and is not a problem with the house I want to buy. When you get in the way of the transaction, meaning I really want this to close, I need to get paid, and for whatever reason you're making the decision to not have something really important to the buyer know about, that's on you. And I'm telling you right now, if you look at the surveys from buyers over the last 3 years and the things they regret, half of the time you're in the picture because you just want to get through, or maybe the pressure of the market's getting you that position. So sometimes it's not fair in a multiple offer scenario. As an example, you and your buyer are being forced to do what? Be the highest and best and remove all your contingencies. I'm just simply telling you that doesn't always work out. So they want to know what they're getting into before they actually say yes to it. Use the data and knowledge born from experience to help me know what is enough to offer and what is too much. This goes back to the justification. You should be able to run comps. You know, Chris and I were just talking about this. There's a difference between the objectivity side of things and the subjectivity side of things. And you can normally not put a price on the subjectivity side of things. That's the emotional side of things. Right? And so you have to balance it, but you have to give them enough information and help them understand the information enough. So that's your value add. I'm going to help you interpret things. Next slide, Natalie. Protect my money from a listing agent obligated to get as much of it for their client as they can. Some of us have had a fear, and I hear this, that because of these changes, a lot of buyers are going to want to go directly to the listing agents. Is that a true statement? 100%. Do you have people out there that are cheap? Yep. You have people out there that don't care what value you bring. Yep. Why are you working with them? Right? Because that goes back and there's something wrong there, right? But they want to know if you're looking for a reason why they should hire you, is because you're going to protect them. I want you to understand, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, the listing agent's fiduciary responsibility is to get the best deal they possibly can for the seller. How are you going to benefit going directly to them? Right? As an example, leverage your relationships with everyone from house cleaners to loan officers. Do you have the right team? Do you have the right vendors? Help me not screw it up and end up in bankruptcy, divorced, or consumed with regret. They're telling you what they want from you. Next slide, Natalie, please. Next slide, go ahead. There's two kinds of people. This is how I'm going to wrap this up. There's those that you know and those that you haven't met yet. You don't lean enough on the people you know. So if value, your value, and the perception of people's value, your value, is important to you, start with the low-hanging fruit, the people that you know. Fred, I want to do a better job this year of growing my real estate business. As a friend, I'm giving you permission to be brutally honest with me. What is your perception of me as a real estate agent?
You're awesome.
Well, I know, and I paid you, but this is what I'm saying is if you have a fear, don't overthink it. Start with the people that you know and love and let them be brutally honest. What is their perception? And use that information to tweak it so that you don't screw up with the person that you haven't met yet. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, next slide, please, Natalie. You guys know this guy? Hang on, I gotta turn it up. If you haven't seen this, you don't get out enough. Go ahead, Natalie.
In addition, last week, the National Association of Realtors agreed for the first time that Americans can negotiate lower commissions when they buy or sell their home.
For the first time, you guys know that, right?
On a typical home purchase, that alone could save folks an average of $10,000 on the sale or purchase. I'm calling on realtors to follow through on lowering their commissions to protect home buyers. I'm calling on realtors to follow through on lowering their commissions to protect home buyers. I'm calling on realtors to follow through on lowering their commissions to protect home buyers.
Thank you, Natalie. Next slide, please.
In addition,
They have the saying, you get what you ask for. You get what you get when you vote too. And I'm not trying to get into politics, but that's really sad. But that's the perception we need to overcome. Is that we're greedy, hungry people, right? And make millions of dollars every year on commissions. Now, we even locally presented to the world our awards, right? And I remember exactly what we did as a company, $4 billion in sales. But that little post that had my wife and I on it that said we closed $4 billion, what do you think the perception of our sphere was? Holy crap, you made a lot of money. Isn't that crazy? So you have to align, right, what you're doing. Think of your target audience. Who is it that you want to do business with? Is your messaging, is your value tied to that? And are you going out of your way to ask people? You know, another favorite thing of mine, if you want to write it down, some of you know I like to say this when you meet people, is just ask them this question when you first meet them. Tell me one thing you love and one thing you hate about real estate. Just start it off that way. Just get a sense of who they are and what they already think about you or somebody else that they previously did business with. Because that's opening the door of opportunity for you. Last quote, an attorney told me years ago, working with the listing agent to buy a home is like hiring the prosecutor to represent you in court. Buyer's agents are needed, they're always gonna be needed, don't have a fear of losing out. What you just need to start polishing is who you are, doesn't matter the level of experience, it's the story that you have, and it's the story that you're gonna share with people. That's all I gotta say, that's all you. Bye.
You guys learn something?
Yeah.
What we gonna do?
Sell some house, represent buyers.
All the above. Okay, I can't clip this, so this will be my mic. All right, Brandon, that was phenomenal. Thank you, guys, one more time. That was.
Thank you.
Okay, so updates. So the office is gonna be closed this Friday for Good Friday, and we will be reopened on Monday, April 1st. So if you guys come in and you're like, where's everybody? That's probably why. The post on the door, so letting you guys know now, so you're not surprised. Next slide. Okay, ooh, this is a good one. Okay, so contracts class, negotiating repairs forms RR and RRRR. Lots of R's. So this is gonna take place on the 29th from 10:30 to 11:30. So virtually, yes. So go ahead and if you want, scan the QR code. I see people doing it now. Go ahead. We'll leave this up for a second. Everyone should be a part of this. Just yeah. So you're gonna want to save that. So that's gonna be from 10:30 to 11:30. I think you guys can spare an hour for Mr. Simon. He's putting in the time to make sure you guys have all the knowledge to be the best version of yourself out there on the field. So make sure you guys take this class. All right, how are we doing? Everyone got the QR code? No?
It's out on the board.
It's out on the board. You can come see me. So yeah. And if you guys know where my office is, it's like directly right in front of my door. Okay, okay. Awesome. Next slide, please. Okay, so Mega Agent Camp, Austin, Texas. It's gonna be early bird pricing ends April 30th. You heard Simon said this last week. It's gonna be from August 12th to 15th. Also scan this QR code, even if you're just curious to see what it is, what the agendas are gonna be like. Definitely scan this. It's gonna be worth your time. And for those who weren't able to make it to family reunions, this is gonna be a good makeup session. So make sure you can plan to try and attend this. It's gonna be very, very awesome. Next slide, please. Yes, your guys' favorite. So listing pitches and buyer needs. Who wants to go first? My man, come on up. Speak loudly up front.
Hi, guys.
Go ahead.
I still have a bunch of vacant lots in City Terrace, East LA. Anybody want to buy a vacant lot for like 150 grand and build a nice home with beautiful city views? I got like 14 over there. City Terrace, okay, so something like that. So
You're awesome. I think Fred needs like 3, right, Fred?
I got you.
All right, so who else?
So we have 3957 Fairview. It's in a view park and it's for 1.489. And we still have Cattaraugus, which is 1.089. We have an agent that's writing on it, but it's not in yet, so if you have anyone, let us know.
Awesome. All right, any other listing pitches, buyer needs?
So I have
I'm in.
a buyer for a commercial site, it's 1.3-ish. He's looking to create his Formula 3 racing team. And he's looking for an empty shell, so we can have build Formula 1 or Formula 3 cars in it. So
Sweet.
I have 2 other clients on the commercial side, they're looking for automotive repair. Oftentimes I have to look at asset sales because some of these guys are in business for 20 or 30 years and they're looking to unload their business anywhere from 15,000 to 100,000. So depends on the business that we're in the market. On that other side too, I have a for lease that we're running into maybe issues with availability because the restaurant side they took apart in the last couple of years. And they're looking at a property, and so I found an asset sale to get them into like a 5,300 per month lease, which is really hard to find in the area. And so around 175,000, so up to about 250,000. So if anybody knows anything about that, come see me, and that's it. So.
Love it. All right, thank you, man.
We have a lease in Long Beach, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, it's available, half partially furnished for 4,200. A new one is coming in as in Torrance, probably by next week. We haven't priced it yet.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Any other buyer needs once? I like an auction, going once, going twice. Sold. All right. So next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm giving you 8 minutes of your life back. Go network. Go have fun.